from the conception of it when I was in Commission 2024, and I saw and I felt a burden in my heart to be part of the Great Commission of God, especially in Africa. Now, after seeing the statistics, the median age is 19, and that means most Africans are in high schools. And now, me as a teacher of high school, then it will be a great opportunity to be part of that which God is doing and will do in Africa, because I saw that there is a very huge number of unreached people, and I felt a burden to be part of what God will do in their lives.
Through doing this teacher formation program, it has shaped my perspectives, the way I think through all these issues as a teacher, not just being there for teaching, but teaching and getting into spaces of the student. It might be 1, 2, or 3. I love that book we did, The Lost Arts of Discipleship by Leroy Ames. Even if it is 2 or 3, we have that principle of multiplication. If you're able to disciple one well, that person, if he or she is intentional, will also disciple others, and others disciple others. You see, it is better than adding, go doing evangelism, then whoever comes, they're just there. Yeah. And also, I love the statement that is made in that book, that when we are teaching about, or rather when teaching them deeply, doesn't mean we use the Bible as a curriculum, but it is living the character of Christ as a teacher. It's about being a teacher whose life itself becomes the message.
This book you are doing, the Passion of Jesus Christ, the 50, I think that is where the Lord met me. Mi niliingia tu, but the Lord met me in Timazi. And that was, I remember we were doing that book, I was just seated alone, sitting room. And then it just dawned on me on how the Lord paid a ransom for me and how he just washed away my sin. And that vividly, that is where the Lord met me. Nilikuwa nasoma that book.
Remember my first book that we read was The Experiencing God, and it really shaped me because I thought I joined while I was full of myself. I think I was complete in my faith till I joined here, and I think that really crushed me to a point of humility that I was not complete, or rather fit for this task. Yes, I have been busy, but how about my relationship with God? And that really where I felt like, I can be busy serving, but yet that is not the thing or the primary goal that I should be having, but rather that quiet time with the Lord and following Him at a step at a time and being obedient to Him daily. So I think that one really shaped me and it talked to me a lot.
Mwalimu Bora program has been a blessing. It's been insightful. I have really learned a lot. The Lord has stretched my faith through support raising. It gave me a very good platform also to develop my faith, to reach out to people, to ask for support, to trust the Lord in the process, which I really appreciate so much.
One thing that I learned from that whole process of support raising, those ups and downs, was that God is a provider. That was a very solid take home, and I really wish that I had learned that earlier in my support raising journey. Perhaps it would have made it easier.
It took time. I was like, I've done my degree. I can go look for a job and be having money. Why go ask people for money? That was my idea. But the moment we did that book, The God Ask by Shadrach Steve, I loved that perspective he shows on the God Ask triangle. Is it so? Yeah. So I came to realize it is not about me asking people for money, but inviting them to come to a golden opportunity to invest in the kingdom.
With the time, I came to accept that this is how God has chosen to supply for my needs. And it is not sinful, it is not begging, it's nothing close to that, but it is God doing his work and helping me to invite other people into this work that he is doing through me.
I used to take divorce like not a big thing, of course. Relationship, not a big thing. But I think Timazi has shaped that perspective, that this marriage is for God. And as you're getting inside there, it's not for you, it's for glorifying God with both your children, your husband, and even the society at large. So it has shaped my growing up as a lady that would want one day to be married and to have a family.
Learning through the community, I learned through the visits to the families. I have to experience how they do things. I observe how they parented and maybe how they help each other in the house chores. And I was considering that, will this really happen in my village? They will just know that umekaliwa.
I've seen the difference when we talk about becoming a family. I've seen a husband that loves the wife just as Christ loved the church and sacrificially does that. I thought those are things that we just read in the Bible.
Of course, for me, when I heard that it is a Mwalimu Bora internship is a Christian organization, so I expected also those who are coming and those who are meeting, they are Christian. And surprisingly, I don't know if it was on my side, but I found myself that I'm really struggling also to truly love one another and what it means to be in a community, that part of correcting one another out of love and also receiving the correction in a way that I'll be able to take it to my heart and work on it. And so it was so clear in my heart. I remember I used to go the other side of the kitchen and just cry to God, God, teach me what it means to love. Because I remember reading the book of 1 John and also now the 1 Corinthians 13 and what it means to love. And for sure, those moments really crushed my heart and it brought me now to the moment of now. I remember starting now to see myself, like when things could maybe go wrong, I could quickly go back to myself and really think about who I am. And I like the statement that Blackebe says that when you see maybe things are not going on well, check the heart of your Christian life.
I've come to really appreciate that accountability and also knowing that my life is not private. Because if my life is, if I keep my life private, then if I sin, it will affect the community. It really will affect the community. And so I am for the community, I am for the church. And that was a very, very, very also solid take home, that I am not my own. I am not of my own. I belong to a community where God has put me, and I stay to be accountable to this community where God has put me in.
The last training that you're having about teaching, for me, I think my focus was only money, and money and how I'll progress from. Like, I didn't even care about the children, their souls and everything, but God has really used the program to help me know that my teaching is a calling, and I'm called to go and help those children, by showing them love and inspiring their souls. I thank God for bringing me to Timazi. I wouldn't imagine what I would be without going through such a program, and I'm so grateful to God. I'm looking forward to practice these truths in a classroom.
I remember when I first heard the word that God is a missional God, I was so thrilled by that statement. Of course, at that point I didn't wholly and widely understand what that meant, but as we continued to journey through the program, I got a wider view of what it meant that God is a missional God. He says that if Jesus be God and died for me, then there's no greater sacrifice it's too great to give him. So that one has really stood out for me. Even now I still think about the love of Jesus and how great his sacrifice was.
What I've really learned is just that I'm just but a vessel, and I don't have the whole of my life. I'm not immortal, that I will be accountable for what I have done. When he rescued me from the enemy, that I ought to live for him, that to live is Christ, to die is to live is Christ, to die is gain.
All through, what I have kept in my heart is the heart of God for discipleship. I remember the book we read on the lost art of disciple making, and also the Kairos course, left me thinking and wondering, hey, what if I didn't come for this internship? What if I have not been discipled this year? What will become of me? I was just a Christian, and although I have learned so many things, so my heart is so open to talk about Christ, to disciple other people, and to just walk with people.
And I'm grateful because of this privilege, because at first I saw it as a sacrifice for me to forego opportunities, of job opportunities and all that. But now with hindsight, indeed it really is a privilege. As my favorite hymn throughout this journey is Trust and Obey, and also linking it up with what Henry Blackaby would say in Experience with God, that I want to trust God and join him where he wants me to be. So I am uncertain of my next station, but at least I know who will be beside me, and at least I know that I will be with God, and where he leads, I will follow and I will go.
For me, I think my focus was only money. Like, I didn't even care about the children, their souls and everything, but God has really used the program to help me know that my teaching is a calling, and I'm called to go and help those children by showing them love and inspiring their souls.
Light to those kids, and I really want them to experience the love of God and to know God for themselves. And I just believe that I am not just a teacher. God has sent me to these kids, so I pray that even for those kids that I will meet, that God will prepare their hearts to receive Him and to experience Him. And maybe one day I will come with a testimony that indeed the Lord has been at work.